Hello, thanks for joining me here at Fun Sock Creations with Sock City. My name is Anna and I'll be teaching you today how to make a crab using just one sock. Don't forget to head on over to funsockcity.com to check out their wide variety of socks. Also, when you're done with your crab, share it on social media and you can tag us at Fun Sock City and use the hashtag FunSockCreations. Okay, let's get started. First, you'll take your sock and you're going to turn it wrong side out. We're going to start making some markings on here of where we're going to sew. Let me explain how the crab is going to be set up. The heel is going to create kind of the shell of the crab, and then we're going to create 3 legs off of each side, and then we're going to use what's left of one end of the sock to create the front pinchers, and then we'll use what's left on this side to create the extended eyes. Going to give it kind of a cartoonish look. So let's begin making those markings. If you remember on that sock, it had writing on it. If your sock has writing on it, put it kind of towards the back. It'll be less noticeable there. So that's what I'm going to do with mine. So we have the main body here, and at about this point I'm going to start making the legs. And we're going to leave this much and this much on each end. So where we're marking is where we will sew. We're just going to do 3 legs on each side. You don't have to sew over here, and try to make them mirror the other side. So these will be where you'll sew for the legs of the crab. Over here we will create the extended eyes. And over here we'll create the pinchers. We'll have this be the part where it attaches to the body on this end. Over here these are going to be the tops of the eyes, and we'll leave this open. You won't sew there. But on the pincher side, this will be the base. Now you can begin sewing. Don't forget to backstitch when you begin and end a seam. That will make those stitches more secure. And I apologize, I didn't really do a good job making it symmetrical, but when I have the pattern for you, there will be a link to it in the description below. That will be symmetrical and you can kind of use that as your guide. I've already sewn this now, and I just fixed where it wasn't symmetrical. I just kind of tried to adjust it as needed to be, especially on this side. This side was a little wonky. So you can do that too if it happens to you. It really is going to be okay. So to make it easier, I'm actually just going to cut right here. These are the tips of the legs. Those are the eye extensions. Make sure you aren't cutting across where you have sewn, which is kind of tricky sometimes to tell. I used white thread, and there's a lot of white thread in this sock, so it's kind of tricky, so I'm just trying to make sure I stay far from the edges. So now you can just cut around. You'll want to leave just a little bit of space. You don't want to cut right next to where you sewed. So here's where you want to be really careful. Don't put your scissors past the sewing line in case you accidentally come down a little harder than you mean to. At this point you have a crab, kind of with a basic form, and there's no way to stuff it or turn it right side out. So what we need to do is we're actually going to cut a little seam on the underneath side, just big enough so that you can get it turned right side out and stuff it. So now once you have that turned right side out, we can stuff it. I would start with the legs first. That is what makes the most sense. And just kind of roll it around to get it not lumpy. Go ahead and stuff the body nice and full. You want to have it lifted up there. When you have it stuffed as much as you would like it stuffed, then you can pin it closed and sew it shut. Right, when you first start sewing, don't forget to lock your thread into place by pulling it in under on the underside and sending it back between the threads to lock that knot into place. And guys, I am not an amazing hand sewer, so don't die over my sewing. The goal is to just get those raw edges in and give a nice firm closure. I just weave it back and forth between the 2 sides. Okay, and then you'll just want to tie your knot off. And remember, you can shove it in there, push it out anywhere, and then press down where it's coming out and snip off that thread close to there, and then it just pulls that thread into there. So this is the main body of your crab, and it really will start to look more crab-like. Now let's turn the other pieces right side out. So these are going to be the eyes that will just go right up on top towards the front. The trick with narrow things is to kind of put something on the end, and then once you can start to get it pulled over, it's a lot easier. Try to get some shape to this because it's supposed to look kind of like a claw. It'll go right there. Once you have everything turned right side out, you can stuff them if you like. Mine are pretty firm anyway, they were pretty narrow, so I'm not going to stuff them anymore. You'll be attaching the little claw things on the front of the crab. Once you've hand sewn everything onto there, we'll hot glue the googly eyes onto there. One thing with these front arms is I am having the high point spot be on the outside, so just make sure you have it symmetrical. You wouldn't want to have one on the outside and then one on the inside. That would look really weird. So whichever way you want it is fine. I think for me it looks better having the pointier part going to the outside. For the eyes, make sure you kind of stuff those raw edges up inside there before you pin it into place. You don't want those raw edges to show. To make sure I'm doing things symmetrical, I'm using this kind of as my guideline, that heel line. So if you have something on your sock that you can use, that makes it really helpful. Okay, once you have everything pinned in place where you'd like it, go ahead and hand stitch it into place. Okay, we have everything hand sewn on there, and now we're going to put the googly eyes on there. And I'm just going to hot glue these onto the crab. I'm putting mine right at the very top, not on the peak of it, but just on the front at the top. The eyes just make that adorable. So now I'm going to embroider just a cute little smile on the crab, a really simple one. You can be as elaborate as you like. Or if you like it just like this, then you could just leave the crab as is. You don't have to put a smile on. I'm using black embroidery floss, and I just have 3 strands double looped. I'm going to start with the outside of that eye appendage. I'm not sure what the technical name is. And if you remember from before, in past embroidery things that we've done, you always lock in your knot by going in and right out, and then looping back through your thread. Oh, I forgot. I always snip it right down by that knot. I've already made sure it's nice and tight. You'll want to double check your knot to make sure everything's tight. That way you just have that cute little budding knot right there. Make sure you really tie that knot tight because you're going to trim that one off. So I just use my fingernails to pull that tight and then snip it off right above the knot, and that's it. Hey, how did your creation go? Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Also, we'd love to hear from you on what you'd like to see as future projects. So make sure and let us know. Thanks so much for joining us today, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.